What you need to know about transurethral microwave therapy, or TUMT for BPH, or benign prostatic hyperplasia. BPH, or benign prostatic hyperplasia, is a term to describe the non-cancerous growth of the prostate that can result in the blockage of the urinary tract and cause changes in urinary symptoms such as frequency, urgency, slow stream, and incomplete bladder emptying. There are a number of minimally invasive therapies done through telescopes or catheters to vaporize tissue or scrape tissue to create a larger passage for urine to flow through. These are minimally invasive therapies for BPH. This includes photoselective vaporization of the prostate, green light laser, which uses a laser fiber to vaporize tissue. TURP, or transurethral resection of the prostate, uses an instrument which scrapes the tissue out to widen the channel. TUMT, transurethral microwave thermotherapy, uses a catheter to heat the prostate, causing it to involute over time. Urinary symptoms not adequately controlled with medicine or as an alternative to long-term medication use is an indication for this procedure. Urinary retention, or the inability to empty the bladder effectively. Recurrent urinary tract infections, or recurrent blood in the urine due to an enlarged prostate. TUMT treats BPH by applying microwave energy to the prostate that precisely heats diseased areas while simultaneously circulating cool fluid in the catheter and protecting the pain-sensitive urethral tissue. This procedure minimizes patient discomfort and risk of thermal damage to the urethra by maintaining the urethral temperature at less than or equal to 40 degrees Celsius. This allows the treatment to be performed in the physician's office without the need of general anesthesia. There are alternatives to TUMT, such as medical therapy, other minimally invasive therapies that use thermal energy, TURP, which is scraping the prostate tissue to open the channel, photoselective vaporization of the prostate, open laser procedures, or open prostate surgery, which is usually reserved only for extremely large prostates. Serious long-term complications are less likely with TUMT surgery than traditional TURP, but can include difficulty urinating requiring catheterization, bleeding, narrowing of the channel or scar tissue development, retrograde ejaculation, erectile dysfunction, injury to the bladder, ureters, urinary incontinence, or persistent lower urinary tract symptoms, which may require additional medical or surgical management. But there are a number of advantages of laser TUMT. There's a lower risk of bleeding, and this procedure can also be performed in patients who are on anticoagulation. This is usually performed as an outpatient in the office and can be done without anesthesia. There's a quicker recovery, more immediate results, and less of a need for catheter post-procedure. The procedure will be done under anesthesia, so you will need to fast starting the night before the procedure. Certain medications may need to be held several days before the procedure. Please talk to your doctor if this is necessary. A preoperative exam or test of blood work and EKG is usually required. If you require anesthesia, you will need a ride home from the procedure and a responsible adult available for the first night you're home. The procedure may be performed in the doctor's surgical center, which is conveniently located adjacent to the doctor's office or in close proximity. These centers are specifically designed for outpatient procedures. Some patients may need their procedure performed in a hospital due to medical reasons. The patient is brought into the procedure room and placed on the table in a lithotomy position. Anesthesia will be administered by a board-certified anesthesiologist. An ultrasound will be placed via rectum to provide additional local anesthesia. A catheter is then introduced through the urethra into the bladder, and the obstructing prostate tissue is heated up with energy. The procedure only takes 30 to 60 minutes to perform, and at the end, a catheter will be placed in the bladder. Instructions on catheter care, usually only needed for one evening, will be provided. The catheter will be attached to a leg bag, and patients will receive a larger bag to use during the evening. This catheter will be kept in place for 1 to 2 days after the procedure to prevent immediate post-op swelling. You may notice blood in the urine for up to 6 weeks following the procedure, but if there is worsening bleeding, clots, or difficulty urinating, please contact your doctor. You may pass tissue with urination, and this is very normal. Irritating urinary symptoms such as the constant need to urinate, intermittent burning, and more frequent voiding can occur and last for several weeks to months depending on the healing process and the size of the prostate. Sometimes difficulty holding the urine can occur for the first few weeks, but this usually improves over time. Post-procedure, no strenuous activities such as lifting or exercise or intercourse should happen within the first couple weeks following the procedure. Continue taking your prescribed prostate medicine and your antibiotic. The doctor will provide a prescription for an antibiotic to typically take for 24 hours. Some physicians prescribe medications to help with burning with urination, like Pyridium or Urel. Doctors will also recommend a stool softener if a pain medication is used. Please call your doctor if you develop a fever greater than 101.5, have chills, or severe pain. If you have nausea, vomiting, inability to urinate, or a significant amount of blood in the urine causing clots, with lightheadedness or dizziness, please either call 911 or call your doctor. The pre-authorization process is essential. We will communicate with your insurance to determine your coverage and any co-payments or deductibles that might be owed. We will provide you with an estimate of any charges that you may incur. All charges are due prior to the procedure and payment plans are available. A surgical scheduler will give you a date for your procedure. You may need medical clearance with your PCP or internist, including a history and physical exam, as well as additional tests like blood work, EKG, and chest x-ray. You will receive a letter with all of this information and where and when to report. You can have clear liquids, but nothing to eat or drink after midnight. The hospital or one of our nurses will call and discuss with you the medicines you can take the morning prior to surgery. If you are taking a blood thinner like aspirin, Plavix, Coumadin, Xarelto, or Eliquis, please let your surgeon know, as they will likely need to take special precautions. But remember, never stop these medicines without a discussion with your primary care physician. Please arrive early for your procedure, usually at least 1 hour before the scheduled time. We hope that your procedure goes well and that you have a speedy recovery. We appreciate your feedback regarding your procedure, as we are always trying to improve the care that we provide to our patients. Should you have any questions regarding your procedure or recovery, please contact your doctor's office. Thank you.